Tim Hortons NHL trading cards are here. Oh, a bunch just fell out of the book because I hadn't secured them properly. But here they are. Here they are. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And you can get this beautiful collectible trading card holder. But remember, you got to put the trading cards in the binder.
I just want one because Steve opened a pack. Give me a card.
Oh,
there
you
go. I got. The guy who's gonna hopefully put up more than like 40 points this year, Elias Pettersson.
Oh no, that's a conversation we're gonna have. By the way.
Steve Dangle, more like attack angle. It's Nikita Kucherov in an attack angle.
Does that card care about the All-Star game?
It does not. And I just think it's
card
funny.
Circumvention, I'd call it.
I just think it's funny how. Because we got Mitch Marner in a Leafs uniform, but somehow Mikko Rantanen in a Dallas Stars uniform.
Oh, there you go.
Interesting. I just think it's funny how.
Tim Hortons NHL trading cards are here. And here's the deal. It's only for a limited time. And we want you to download the Tim's app, grab a pack today, visit your local Tim Hortons, and start collecting Tim's NHL hockey trading cards.
SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go! Hi. All right. So, sports, I guess. I want to start with this. A reminder that Easter Seals, we're taking the donations and that sort of thing. Jesse, you set a nice little goal last night during your stream for Easter Seals, did you not?
Yeah, the goal was donate money. And people did. It was awesome.
Oh, that's great. I love hearing that.
No, we're still raising money for East Seals Ontario because those kids with physical disabilities need all the help they can get. And yeah, we had a donation blitz during the stream, and a whole bunch of people donated. And I hit my goal. I was trying to raise $1,000, and I passed it. So maybe I'll up my goal tonight on the stream.
Can you wait until I've hit my goal?
All the money's going to the same place. Who cares?
I know. Well, I just know the way Steve will look at me the rest of the year if I don't.
First of all, skill issue. Get good.
Yeah. Get good.
But also, everyone on our team has to raise $1,000, and there are currently 2 of us that have raised $1,000 or more. So please go on over to the Rachel's Raiders page. You can donate to me, you can donate to Jesse, or you can donate to anybody on Rachel's Raiders. Yes, Maddie, you can donate to Maddie. You can get Maddie over 1,000 before Adam.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. Donate to Maddie.
No, you can't do that.
Thank you to these strangers in my emails. I get them every other day, and it's like $50, and I'm like, all right, sweet.
Let's go. Nice. Let's go. And that's like, have you been asking for it or like?
No.
There you go. Now we're asking for it. Team Maddie versus Team Adam.
I'm at like $500. It's not bad.
Let's freaking go, Adam. What are you at?
I don't know.
Skill issue.
Don't know.
Donate to anybody on Rachel's Raiders, and again, any donation to anybody.
No, how about me first?
On anybody, could be anybody.
Anybody happen when Adam ends up in last?
Anybody on Rachel's? No, okay, we don't want that.
Or
do we? You know what?
Like, what if it's because everybody else just has so much, and he has a lot, but not as much?
As long as everyone on Rachel's Raiders passes 1,000, good. I actually don't give a damn. Everyone who donates to anybody on Rachel's Raiders is automatically entered into a raffle to get a pair of tickets to Leafs Sens December 27th.
Oh, yes.
Get in there.
All I do is love. I bring love. I share love. I love the people in this room.
Oh, yeah?
I don't get that love back.
What if that person's a Penguins fan?
Don't you feel bad?
Then you don't love them.
I went to their arena, Jesse. I went to their house. I paid so much money for their.
What if that person's Lane Hudson's dad?
$371. $371 is what Adam has raised so far. You are you are behind Maddie, and you are just ahead of producer Hayden. Yeah. Let's go.
I don't feel like I'm being loved back here. You know?
Yeah.
Get out there and raise money.
Yeah.
Skill issue.
Okay, now. Let's talk a little bit about this. So if you happen to listen to this episode before the game tonight, because there's an 8:00 game tonight, Game 7, Jays Yankees, Jays Mariners.
You know, the Leafs have a Game 7 of their own on Tuesday, Adam. Let's talk about that.
They do.
No, that's funny.
But yes, Jays Mariners tonight. Jesse will be streaming yet again. I will be doing, I think I'm doing New Jersey, Toronto. Am I not?
No, your stream's on Friday.
Oh, it's Buffalo.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Buffalo's slow. More like it. Anyway, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is third the third player in MLB postseason history to manage a 1.5 or a 1500 OPS, depending upon how you say that, in at least 45 plate appearances in a single playoff run. The other two people to do it. In 2004, Carlos Beltran. In 2002, Barry Bonds.
Holy
and
crap.
let me do this one. This is also a crazy stat. There are 5 players ever with 6+ home runs in a postseason run and less than 10 strikeouts overall.
Jeez. Okay.
Their names are Barry Bonds,
Okay.
Albert Pujols,
Okay.
Carlos Beltran, Ken Griffey Jr.,
Wow.
Pablo Sandoval. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. currently has 6 home runs and only 2 strikeouts in the 2025 postseason.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome. Is what
That's
that is.
that's so. Listen, this is a guy that had a relatively, by his standards, weak regular season. 23 home runs, 24 home runs, 80 something RBIs.
He went weeks at a time without getting home runs.
And here's where I think. And by the way, we're having Ken Reid on, so we're going to talk to him about this a little bit later too. Ken Reid's got a new book coming out. It's called The Next One. It's going to be sick.
Maddie.
Yeah, Maddie, come on, pay attention here,
There
Maddie.
you go.
Yeah, get
There
Jessica.
you go.
Skill issue!
Hey. Skill issue.
That was a skill issue. She was looking at something.
Thank you.
My thing is, when you get your best players being your best players, forget the regular season. If you cannot be the team's best players in the postseason, then you should not be on that team for more than a couple of seasons. When the team figures out, this person's not a postseason player, bye-bye.
like the Raptors run was such a good blueprint. Like Kawhi was the best player the entire time, but there were moments from other guys. Like, so he was the rock, he was the foundation. There was the Pascal Siakam game. There were Kyle Lowry moments. There were Danny Green moments. There were Serge Ibaka moments. You need everybody, but at the end of the day, he had to be their best player basically the whole time.
Jesse,
Mm-hmm.
you've watched a lot of Leafs postseason in person,
Yeah.
right?
I
You've
want
watched
to take back a lot of those moments.
You've watched a lot of Jays postseason this year. And in fact, you watched Leafs postseason and Jays postseason in the same year, which is rare because the Jays rarely make it very far in the postseason. What is it about this? What is this Jays postseason run thus far? And again, it could be over tonight. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What has it taught you?
I don't know if this is going to make your blood boil, Steve, but
Hit me.
the Toronto Blue Jays are a lot like the Florida Panthers in the way that they're all there for each other.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember a Jays team that I've loved so much for the people that they are, and I don't remember a Jays team that's loved each other as much as this. The Florida Panthers, just to illustrate what I mean, Steve, the way the Florida Panthers all postseason were like, we go to lunch together. We go to Dairy Queen together. We're all fighting for each other. That's what this Jays team feels like. When Brendan Little was put out there in a position where he shouldn't have been, everybody was completely fine with it in that Jays locker room because they were all like, I'm just going out. We got game 6 on Sunday. It's every day. We're fighting. Next day we wake up. We're going to go fight for the next guy next to me in that dugout. They're such a good team in the real sense of the word. And I think truly you need that to be a great team. You need to be a cohesive unit on the field and off the field. And I think this Jays team has got it. And they've illustrated throughout the entire regular season with the great performances from like Springer and his bounce back year and how everybody's been so hyped with him off the field. And then during this postseason with Vladdy leading the way, everybody's there fighting for each other more than even the jersey, the crest on the front. They just want
It's the people in the room
for the next guy next to him. And that's what the Florida Panthers were. The Florida Panthers were the exact same way. And Brad Marchand went into that locker room and
doubled down on it.
he made that even more apparent, I thought. I thought this Florida team from last year was better than the year before. And a large part of that is Brad Marchand's presence and what he brought out of that room. And they were a tight-knit group, and they got even tighter because of him in there. And that's what I've learned a lot from these guys in terms of just relating it back to a hockey example.
Here's all I'm going to say, because I'm trying to hold it together because I'm very upset. Jesse told no lies.
Great.
That's all I'm going to say.
Jesse, I've sent you 2 videos.
Okay.
Let me know, because
I want you to
I'm
cue them.
going to lose it.
I want you to cue them both up.
Okay.
Okay, because I think it's important. Perspective is always important. And listen, I can't just make this about the playoffs. It's game for the NHL. I mean, it's game 6, right? Like for the Leafs anyway. I can tell you that I lost to one of my friends in the first week of the hockey pool that I'm in, or second week, because Evan Bouchard, who was preseason ranked top 25 in all of Yahoo Fantasy, is now ranked 677th.
That's psychotic.
Because the Oilers cannot score. Oilers cannot score.
Man,
crazy.
Their brand is chiseled into the side of the
shitty
Rockies.
October. The rest of it's great.
Like, wow.
Yeah. You know, we're looking at baseball a lot right now because we're seeing a really cool run here happen in Toronto in the playoffs, which never happens. And it might not matter. Dave Roberts, manager of the LA Dodgers, said, "I can't wait to go back to the World Series and ruin baseball." Because everybody's saying if the Dodgers win, there is for sure a lockout coming in 2027 because the owners are going to want a salary cap. I don't think it matters if the Dodgers win or not. I think there's going to be one. But Jesse, what are the odds saying at BetMGM.com? Because these are crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because the betting public or the betting sports book is saying that there's not a point to be playing the World Series. So if you make a $10 bet on the Dodgers to win the World Series, you're netting $5 back.
Holy shit.
They're 1.5 favorites to win the World Series.
That is so... that's absurd.
That's absurd.
So they're
For
saying...
a series that hasn't... They don't even have an opponent.
No. So, but they're saying it's 5-1 for the Mariners or Jays to win it. And the BetMGM and all these sports books are just saying, the Dodgers are doing this thing. They shouldn't, there's no reason for them to be this heavy favorites. It's crazy.
That is nuts.
The Jays and Dodgers are each 5-1, which I guess makes sense on account of both teams. It's possible one of them doesn't make the World Series.
I remember making a special effort to watch the Jays-Dodgers series this summer, and the Dodgers just steamrolled them. Like they are...
Except for the Fluharty game.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
They are top to bottom. An unbelievable all-star team. And so I am desperate as a Toronto fan to have something go right here. And it crossed my mind this morning, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I want the Jays to win tonight, obviously. But if they could win against the Dodgers, I think they'd be the most popular team in North America.
Oh my God.
I think the
what?
greatest sports franchise of all time would be the Toronto
That's a
Jays.
cool dream, but I don't disagree with anything that's going on here. This is the LA Dodgers Invitational we're about to watch next week when the World Series happens. I don't know who's going to be in the World Series, but I think that team's going to lose against the Dodgers.
You know who I hope believes that? The Dodgers.
I want Brandon Little versus Shohei Ohtani. That's the matchup.
Bottom of the ninth.
Bottom of the ninth. All right. So with that, BetMGM, official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League, and everything on the ice and off the ice. You can download the BetMGM app today and enjoy the NHL like never before. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 19 plus to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or somebody close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario. Now, I want to give you 2 examples here of this is what teams do. Jesse mentioned teams. This is what teams do in hockey and you go, it's early in the season. Okay. So you didn't watch Buffalo, Florida. I also know that you didn't watch New York, Montreal. Let's have a look.
Oh, you don't do that.
Okay. Yeah. If you want to pull that one up, or you can pull the other one up.
No, go ahead.
New York, Montreal. There's a guy named Sam Carrick, used to play for the Leafs. And he...
Cannot believe he's still in
What's Sam Carrick known for, Steve?
Being a big old bowling ball.
Yeah. So Sam Carrick absolutely laid out Lane Hudson.
Oh my God. He went Arbor Jackeye?
And then, here's the hit. Okay, here's what he did. Ready?
Oh.
Bang.
Got him
That's
good.
boarding. And he got him.
Got him good.
And
You see him there on the top left.
yeah, top left behind the goalie.
And
Like
for the
you have to
people-
imagine he is behind his own goalie.
There you go.
Sam Carrick catches him kind of at mid-play, mid-pass, and it's a boarding call. But Sam Carrick absolutely crunches him. And Sam Carrick's
got sandwiched.
Sam Carrick's not doing that because he wants to take Lane Hudson off the puck in that scenario. He's doing that so he can intimidate Lane Hudson for later. He doesn't even care if he takes a penalty. And what happens? There's this big guy next to Lane Hudson, number 72.
Named Arbor Jackeye.
And he Arbor jacked Sam Carrick's face up. Okay.
Now, I gotta say this. If you're Arbor Jackeye and you don't fight in that situation,
you shouldn't be in the lineup.
take your shit off and go home.
But
Take your shit off and go home.
But Steve, why are you yelling at him? He did it.
Yes, he did, Adam.
Now,
Yes,
let's
he
go to
did.
number 2. Let's go to number 2. Hey, team, Steve, what do we know about the San Jose Sharks this season?
Not great.
Hey, isn't it great when your coach is like, I would give up one of my children for a win? That's a real quote. He's been clocked on camera, banging his head against the glass publicly. Okay.
Have they won yet?
No.
Yeah, it's tough.
No, they have not.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens when you touch Macklin Celebrini?
You should be dead or close to it.
Okay, so let's have a look at this if we can.
So this doesn't have the play on Celebrini?
So Celebrini, but look at where
He's
Celebrini
lying
is.
down. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know what happened to him. All I need to know is the franchise is on the ice right now.
And what
It would be-
happens?
it would
Just
be
show me
nice.
show me the aftermath.
Okay.
Let's not get it bogged down in the details.
All right.
And here comes Darnay on Cooley. And it's there's look at that, confetti gloves.
There you go.
Even JJ Paterk is in there. And he's not known for that. But he's in there protecting the Utah guy. The San Jose guys are protecting the San Jose guys. I have to be honest, I'm not a fan of the San Jose third jersey, gentlemen. I just have to be straight with you.
It's okay.
But Celebrini, when he does get touched, stop
It's a
playing,
problem.
Stop playing hockey.
The game's over.
Why are we playing?
The game is on
There's
hold.
13 minutes to go in the game. In this particular instance, Utah is up 5-2 on San Jose, but you touch Macklin Celebrini, so we're not playing hockey anymore. Now, I want to show you, for anybody that might have missed it, I want to show you what happens. Jesse, I'm just sending this over to you now. Sorry. A live view of Anthony Stolarz. Anthony Stolarz, who for 2 straight years, even though he hasn't played enough games really to register, he has played over 25, but he's led the league or been close to it in save percentage.
He was a 925 in Florida. We all said he's not going to be able to do that here, and he put up a 926.
If Anthony Stolarz plays 40 or 50 games this year, he will get Vezina votes if he continues.
They make the playoffs, no problem.
Of course.
Yeah.
So Anthony Stolarz, and I think there's a pretty good, and I think Jesse mentioned it last week, pretty good sample size to tell you that the Toronto Maple Leafs, one of their newer parts of their identity is having a great goaltender.
Yeah, that was at the live show.
And
really, really good goal.
And I think you nailed it, Jess. And so what do you do when you've got a top asset? Hey, listen, you're a hedge fund manager and your hedge fund is invested in this company and this company's getting you 10x returns. What do? Do you let another company blow that company up? Do you let another company come in and raid all their IP? Or do you fight like mad to protect everything about that company? So
I'm shaking. I'm waiting for my opportunity. I'm just waiting.
Hang on there, Cujo.
I know.
You're coming.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's important to understand the context about what you're about to see because Brandon, and by the way, Bruins fans, you're going to friggin' laugh at this. Actually, anybody that's played the Leafs in the playoffs is going to laugh at this.
Anyone is going to laugh.
Brandon Carlo had already pushed a player into Anthony Stolarz earlier this year, which I believe Anthony Stolarz got hurt last year with somebody doing that.
I don't remember.
And a goal went in and it was the Leafs' fault.
Earlier this game.
Earlier this game.
Yeah, you said years.
Sorry, I meant earlier this game.
It was like 5 minutes prior.
Yeah.
So Mason Marchment of the Seattle Kraken, who, by the way, refused to come to Toronto, if the rumors are to be believed, because he didn't want to pay the taxes here. That's fine. But you got to use every edge that you can to hate a guy, right? You're playing Seattle. There's not a lot of animosity here.
Make it up. Like who?
And the Seattle Kraken walk into the Leafs arena with the Mariners jerseys on. They walk in with the Mariners jerseys on. Carlo has already pushed a Seattle Kraken player into Stolarz, and it's led to a goal. And so what Mason Marchment does is what Mason Marchment always does, which is why he's such a valuable player on any team he plays on. He doesn't give a shit. And he torpedoes Anthony Stolarz. And I want you to watch the number 25 of Brandon Carlo. Look at Marchment. That is an elbow to the head. Yeah. And then he falls on Stolarz. Now, we already know they're not going to call a penalty on this. And by the way, this podcast is past that. We don't care. We know the refs are not going to do anything.
They did call a penalty.
Oh, okay.
It was goalie interference. They called a penalty.
Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah.
They
went to the
and
power
also
play.
like
that's what Carlo said post game too.
Who gives a shit?
Also, who gives a shit? So what is Carlo doing? Look at the straight knees of Brandon Carlo here. Marchment runs in. There's less than a minute to go. Straight knees. And that's the worst thing if you're a defenseman. Straight friggin' knees. They're both in the back of the net, and Carlo's just standing there. And so you're going to see Anthony Stolarz get up, infuriated.
Berube should have snatched the jersey off his back.
And then he pushes the net over. Mm-hmm. Look at this. Pushes the net over, and then Brandon Carlo's like, I guess I better get involved. I'm going to get him. And Stolarz is fuming, and he skates away into the corner after that. And who cares what the penalties are?
Every player should have left the bench.
Carlo does.
Well, what are they going to do? They're going to suspend all of you 10 games?
That's
Bullshit.
all I want to talk about.
We'll get to his answer in a second.
It's fucking awful.
I need everybody to understand the concept. And by the way, the Jays and Mariners are playing in the playoffs. The Mariners at this point are up 3-2. Thank God the Jays came back and showed some pride last night. The Leafs watched them walk into the arena with Mariners jerseys on and then watched them walk all over them. And after the game, I want you to, I'm going to give you the Anthony Stolarz post-game video here.
It's okay. You don't need to send it.
Can you pull it?
Yeah. We're good.
I want you to watch this.
It's the most watched non-Blue Jays thing in the country.
It's a new thing the Leafs are doing. They post their post-game pressers directly to Twitter.
Great.
It's a good idea.
Now,
so people don't just read the quotes. You can hear the guys say it.
They do not post their starting goalie saying this shit last year.
Let me say this. Their starting goalie would have been in trouble for saying this last year.
Yes.
Let me tell you this. With each successive answer, Anthony Stolarz gets angrier. You're going to hear it in his answers. Every single time he has to answer a question here, he's talking about it. So, Jesse, go ahead and play the clip. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Take from tonight's game.
It was a good third period.
I just want to say, side note, the one time I'm not there.
I know!
Is the one time there's quotes. Damn live show. It was a lot of fun, but damn it.
We should have just let you go.
Here we go.
But first two periods, we kind of let them walk all over us. And, we just didn't play our game. They outworked us in front of the net. They blocked shots. They beat us up and down the ice. And, the score was indicative of that. They just outworked us, plain and simple.
Are you getting a little frustrated with guys taking runs in?
It's just playing hard. Maybe we can take a page out of their book and start getting to the net. For us, it's, we like to go a little high and shoot, but, it's for their goalie, it's like playing catch in the yard. You're seeing everything, and we're not making it difficult. We made it difficult in the third, and look what happened. We came out, tied the game, got a point out of it, almost scored with 5 seconds left, but it's a little too late. And I think, even though we're 6 games into the season, it's, enough's enough, and we kind of got to start picking it up here.
What are you seeing and feeling when Marchment crashes into you there?
I'm not happy. It's, guys are going to run me, and I'm going to try to stand up for myself. And, I heard the ref say we got a power play, and there's really not much I can do to them on the ground. But, kudos to the guys who were there and got down with them. But, like I said, I think we got to start going to the cage a little harder, make it harder for their goalies. It's not fun. I don't like having 225-pound guys landing on me. So, hopefully learn a lesson here.
This is just early season gelling issues.
A lot of the guys have been here for a while. Overtime, you can't let someone beat you up the ice there, and
that's the overtime he's talking about.
Clear-cut breakaway. Minute left. You want to be on the ice in that situation. You got to work hard. Got to work back, and it cost us a point there. Awesome. So at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's early. We do have some time to gel, but at the end of the day too, it's more or less just about working hard, and when we work hard, the results come. You saw it in the third period, and we can't play for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We got to do it for a complete 60.
So was it an overtime play that left you frustrated to smash your stick, or was it the?
It's just overall. how many points are we going to leave out there? Being here last year and, seeing the team we had and seeing how far we were able to go and the potential's there. Like we have the skill, we have the grit, we have the grind. And, it's just frustrating that, we just can't put it together right now.
All right. Now, I'm split
when.
as a host.
Just say when.
Because I feel like we should let Steve go a little here, and then we should hear from Brandon Carlo.
Sure.
Or should we do Carlo first?
No, I can let Steve talk.
Give me Carlo. No, I want Carlo.
You want Carlo?
I want Carlo.
Because
I want Carlo.
it's
We're all here
important.
because of you, Brandon.
It's all
Let's
important
hear
to
it.
get.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. What do you got to say there, Brandon?
Now,
What do you got to say?
I want to tell you that Brandon Carlo cut his teeth with the Boston Bruins. Do you know anything about Boston Bruins hockey?
Yeah, it's what you do when you want to beat up a weak-kneed, shitty team like the Leafs.
He is.
Can I ask you just to please stop rocking? Because
Yeah,
I can't. I can't.
The tables or the chairs creaking.
Yeah.
I gotta
We
get some
already recorded with
40 on
Ken.
that.
I'm on my second cup of coffee. I'm trying.
He is.
Okay.
By the way, Brandon Carlo is 6'5", 225 pounds.
Bullshit.
Jesse, go ahead.
As I saw the referee call the penalty, you don't want to do too much to retaliate, but
Incorrect.
there's a certain extent once you see kind of slowly get up and be angry too. You want to try and give him a shot, but overall, you want to go on the power play as well. So it's a weird area to be in, but overall, I think the power play is a useful thing in that situation.
That's the worst thing you could have said.
The worst answer.
It was the worst. I'm so sorry, Brandon. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, no,
but which is irrelevant.
I don't fucking care.
Which is irrelevant to this. Is my next words.
Nice guy.
He says the complete wrong thing. You should say there before Steve goes off. I want to say nobody's giving Bobby McMahon credit. Nobody's giving Bobby McMahon credit. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Bobby McMahon took a penalty and stood up for Nick Robertson when Nick Robertson got hit into the board.
Why, Tolvanen him.
Nick Robertson got crushed. The play was still going on, and Bobby McMahon ran over and defended the player.
Yep.
Like why? Everybody's forgot that happened too. There's a guy on this team that stood up for a player on this team. It was great.
Yeah, and Bobby, whose stock continually rises because we wanted him to evolve his game. And so far through 6 games, out of everyone who was here from last year, I think you can point at Bobby and say there's been an evolution to his game. He's mucking it up in front. He's winning board battles. He's elusive. He's not just speed and a shot. And he's sticking up for his teammates. He took a penalty.
I wanted to say that it's because that's going to get lost in this whole thing because you're going to go off for 20 minutes. Just to get that out there before I forgot. I just wanted to credit Bobby McMahon for doing that because everybody lost that. Steve, go ahead.
Ken brought up something, and you're going to hear it later in the show. And it was a phenomenon that used to, it was like during the Sundin era, I think is when this term was coined. It's called blue and white disease. And I never really believed it. Basically, Brendan Shanahan's job was to, and Lou Lamoriello's job was to eradicate blue and white disease. I'm starting to think there is, but blue and white disease was like an entitlement. I don't know if that exists here, but let me tell you the disease that is permeating the organization. When Mike Babcock was the head coach of this team, their payback, or our toughness is our power play.
That was the word. Yeah.
Our toughness is our power play.
And that was from Shanny.
Mm-hmm. Our toughness is our power play. And how did it work?
It didn't in the
They
playoffs.
showed up every April, got their little bottoms padded, and sent on their merry way. And they talked about the lessons they learned before going into their summer, going into the next season, going through the next season, showing up in April, getting their little bottoms padded, and going on their merry way. 2021 shows up. It's a different world. COVID happens. We all know about all that. Is Mike Babcock there anymore? No. It's not Mike Babcock anymore saying our toughness is our power play. It's Sheldon Keefe. It's a different head coach. And Ben Sherratt grabs Austin Matthews by the collar and he drags him around and nothing happens. Now, there are other things from that series. I talked about this a little bit on Twitter yesterday. You can retaliate however you want as long as you don't use your stick. That is, unless you're Joel Edmondson and Ben Sherratt cross-checking Wayne Simon in the head and neck at the same time. I didn't enjoy that very much. But the Leafs were like, we're a better team. We're more skilled than Montreal. We are not going to retaliate. And what happened?
Montreal went to the finals.
Montreal patted them on their little bottoms and sent them on their way. That was 2021. Now Craig Berube is the head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't know if you know this about Craig Berube, but he played in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
And Craig Berube's job was to beat the shit out of people.
He was good at it too.
He was very good at beating the shit out of
1,000 games.
1,000 games beating the shit out of people. If Craig Berube was on the ice, stuff like this didn't happen. And if it did happen, he was either the one doing it or he was beating the shit out of people.
In 93-94, he had 305 penalty minutes for the Capitals.
Jesse, go ahead and give me his career high in goals and points.
Career high in goals is 8. Career high in points, 18.
18. Games played, please.
1,054.
Points, please.
159.
That's impressive considering.
Penalty minutes, please.
3,149.
The Toronto Maple Leafs head coach, his job was to beat the shit out of people. That's what he did. That's how he made a living. That's how he put food on the table for his family. That's why he's a head coach in the NHL right now, is because he spent 2 decades beating the shit out of people.
89 playoff games, too. It's not like they just scratched.
How many penalty minutes in those playoff games?
211.
Wow, that's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Babcock's not there anymore. Keefe isn't there anymore. Lou isn't there anymore. Dubas isn't there anymore. Tim Lewicki isn't there anymore. Brendan Shanahan isn't there anymore. It's a new coach. It's a new GM. It's a new roster. It's a new philosophy. And they are still getting the shit beat out of them.
By the Seattle Kraken.
By the motherfucker! Are you joking me?
The team
the
that we
soda crackers of the NHL.
We called them identityless. Yeah.
And what did I say? And people didn't like it. People didn't necessarily agree. And by people, I mean, I think Adam and Jesse.
Probably.
When the Kraken went out and got Mason Marchment, I'm like, oh, well, he might make their games a little interesting at least. And they're off to an amazing start. I don't even know how many points he has. I don't give a shit if he has any. He makes them relevant. What is on the inside, erroneously, of the collar of every Leafs jersey?
Honor, pride, courage.
Yeah, there you go.
Fuck you.
I think
honor, pride, courage.
Who are you saying fuck you?
The Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a little too much honor and not enough
honor,
pride,
courage. No grit, no grind, no greatness with periods. Yeah. And now this year, no grit, no grind, no greatness, 2 commas and a period.
Yeah. The grammar needs work here.
Yeah, how about just throw that one out and go back to the marketing department?
Why not a blue wall?
Yeah.
Here, I got this. Here, I got one. Unless your name is Anthony Stolarz, and you know what? Bonus points to Bobby McMahon. You get a hall pass today. If you're Anthony Stolarz or Bobby McMahon, and you're a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs, this doesn't apply to you. The rest of you, shut the fuck up. No one wants to hear from you. No one wants an excuse. No one wants to know why you're not doing something. Just do it. You know, Dion Phaneuf gets a lot of shit for his time as a Leaf and his time as Leaf captain. Listen, it didn't go great. The team around him was also not great. I'm not here to defend his time as a Leaf, but I am going to tell you that team sucked ass, and he gets traded to the Leafs, and he plays in his first game. And it was, ironically, against the New Jersey Devils, who the Leafs have on Tuesday. What did Dion Phaneuf do? Because he's in a new market on a new team trying to make a good impression. He grabbed the first guy who agreed and he beat the shit out of him. In Toronto, on home ice. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. And that's, one of those stage fights. I don't really remember if there was anything that led to it. There are very few situations in life that are carte blanche. One of them is in hockey. Mm-hmm. If someone runs your goalie, you beat the shit out of them.
It's like the default.
Hey, here. I'll give you another one. You have the puck. You're at the offensive blue line. Okay. You're Jesse Blake. Okay. You have the puck. You're at the offensive blue line.
Look at him go. He's so crazy.
And you turn it over. There's an odd man rush going the other way. There's an odd man rush going the other way.
Evan Bouchard.
Who should be skating the fastest to go and get the thing?
Me, who turned it over.
You.
I got to turn around.
Let's apply that to another situation.
Oh, okay.
You're Brandon Carlo. You knock a player onto your goalie and they score. It's your fault. We know it's your fault. They didn't challenge it for goalie interference, even though there was a player lying on top of your goalie, not because the rule sucks and is poorly enforced, although it's your fault. You knocked the player on top of your goalie. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Even the Leafs video room agreed. They're like, yeah, that was our fault that he was on the goalie.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, maybe.
Yeah, if that.
A guy crashes your goalie and you are the closest human being next to him. And you don't do anything? William Nylander skates by with his hands on his knees? I'm sick to my stomach. Anthony Stolarz just signed an extension. Thank God. Because it's the closest I've felt to the Leafs having a captain in at least half a decade.
And I want to say that towards people may not remember this, but if you listen to the end of it, he is calling out William Nylander too, because William Nylander tried to score off an Austin Matthews pass in overtime and didn't get back in time. Isn't that right?
Yes.
And
he got blown. He got back. It's just he got blown by on that play.
He talked about getting outworked.
Yeah.
What's he talking about? Him? Mm-hmm. He's not referring to himself. He's calling out the damn team.
Yeah.
The team that didn't defend him when he got run over, concussed so bad he was throwing up on the ice and sent to the hospital. And then they lost the series while he was watching because he was recovering from a head injury. The most basic thing in the world should be protecting this human being. You have 2 opportunities to do it in one game on home ice on hockey night in goddamn Canada. And you don't do it? Every player on the ice should have that jersey torn off their back. Honor, pride, courage, my ass.
I'll give Jake McCabe credit. He did jump in, and he was late back, so it wasn't like he had an opportunity. Jake McCabe was right in there.
Fine. It takes a team.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a whole team. Carter Verhaeghe will mix it up. That guy's a beanpole. He's 6'2", I think $180 maybe. Like I had to look it up yesterday. The Panthers are not full of like huge guys, like big imposing. Like, I don't know. They're big enough.
They're psychotic.
They're psychos. They're out of their mind, Adam.
No one's asking you to be actually big. Just be tough.
If Carlo is not going to do anything, if you're not, Jesse, I tell you this all the time. I would love to be 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
If Carlo wants a few pounds of mine, he can have them. Like he's 225. I'm already there and then some. So don't worry about that, Brandon. But can I have a few inches of height? Can I have some of those?
Yeah.
I mean, well, you're not using them. So can I have them? That'd be great if you could just like exchange stats like in a video game, but in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You're 6'5". Give a few of them to us. You're not fucking using them.
Can I give you...
And it's not just him.
Can I give you Stollers, Nylander, and Craig Berube on Stollers yesterday, and then get your reaction on that?
Did they speak today?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
If he walks it back, I'm leaving the room.
Okay. So, don't go that far.
If he walks it back...
They asked Anthony.
If he walks it back, LFR might be over. Like, I don't... What? Go ahead.
They asked Anthony about William Nylander, calling him out, and we referenced that for his play in OT and getting beat there. And he says, it's all good. Look, we're teammates. He's a great guy. There's nothing that we need to, talk about here. Yeah, he talked to me after, and it's all good. It's been no issue since. I pulled Willie aside, and we had a conversation.
This is Anthony.
Yeah, I'm continuing. Yeah. Sorry. The Anthony now on Nylander. I pulled Willie aside and we had a conversation. He's someone I admire and someone I respect deeply. There's a reason he's been in this league for so long. He's a hell of a player. He pushes me and I push him. So
good.
That's Anthony.
Good.
The first one's Willie.
Great. Okay, the show can continue.
Okay. Yeah. Right? It's good. Berube says about Anthony Stollers' comments, it's frustration. We all prefer to stay in the room, but it happens. But we've moved on from it.
Good.
Great. Good. Apologize to no one.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone, you talked about Brandon Carlo cutting his teeth with the Boston Bruins and taking apparently absolutely nothing from that experience. Like, I could have swore he was there. Like all those times that the Bruins beat the Leafs, I could have swore he was there on the ice for at least a couple of them. I think at least 2024 and 2019. I think. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe he was in the press box. Maybe. I don't know. I know they have Marchand and like Chara might have been retired by then, but no, not in 2019. He was hanging around. Maybe he's just along for the ride. Maybe they just gave him a jersey with a number on it.
Stollers take some things from winning a Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers.
I think you're absolutely right, Jesse.
I don't think it's a coincidence that Stollers was on that Panthers team. He didn't play. But I think it's significant that he has this mentality about this Leafs team because he knows what it takes to get it done because he saw it and he was there for it. They
talked about DNA change, and this is one of the things that I forgot to mention leading into telling the Leafs to shut the fuck up because it's just another incident of lip service from this team where nothing ever changes. Nothing changes ever. Okay, we can't all be brutes and beat the shit out of each other all the time. This is a cry for help from your goalie.
Yep.
Who said in different words, straight up, their goalie had an easier job tonight than me. You go out and get Dakota Joshua.
Who should have had a goal.
He
basically scored and hit the post himself.
No, I'm not criticizing him, but
I just want to add that in there.
You become a different team. You become a bigger team. Your coach talks about wanting to play north-south and a DNA change. And you're 6 games into the season. And your goalie is like, help. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, they're in trouble. Oh my God, they're in so much trouble. Unless they turn it around immediately. And the way they turn it around isn't like so often you hear the answer is inside the room. The answer is in the room. All it is you have to play differently. Like I talk about Travis connecting all the time because you hear that teams want a certain kind of player and they want to bring something to their team. And it usually means a big person. What if you're just an asshole? What if you're just a bastard? Marchand's not that big. He's built a little like a teapot. Like he's, I don't know, 5'10" in shoes maybe, and maybe 200 pounds. That guy's an asshole.
And look what he did to Rasmus Dahlin.
Look what he did to Rasmus Dahlin.
Rasmus Dahlin, who's fucking huge.
And he got a $5,000 fine for unsportsmanlike conduct. I said this years ago. Fines should not apply to Brad Marchand. He's been fined and suspended so many times. Fines are what leads up to a suspension. Suspend the guy. What are you doing?
Did you call him 5'10"?
In shoes, yeah.
He's 5'7".
Wow.
He's listed 5'7"?
Yeah.
He's listed 5'7".
Yeah. Brad Marchand.
And that's your father!
Brad Marchand
On your birth certificate, that's your fucking father! Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I'm begging any of you to give a fuck!
You like tower over Marchand. I don't know if you know this, but
That's how he heard your mighty might roar.
yeah. Like I was in scrums with him last year, and he's like way down there.
Now,
William Nylander, I think, has the physical capability to dog walk somebody. Like the forearms, he's dogless. Like he has a gear in the playoffs. He can play better. He can do things that help your team win, but he's not that. He's dogless. Austin Matthews, he is his wrists. And if he injures them, then the season is in peril. He's not going to do it.
Is that a problem?
Is that a problem? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Nyes you want on the ice. It's good that he'll beat the shit out of you. Max Domi is lost out there at center. Like
by the way, he's been moved.
He's been moved?
He's on the top line now.
First line wing.
Okay, so give me that.
Oh, okay. So the lineup, I have to look down through all my Stallers notes. Here we go.
It's up on screen.
There you go. So you got Nyes, Matthews, Domi, Michelli, Tavares, Nylander, Joshua, Waugh, McMahon, Robertson, Lorentz, and Yarncroke on the fourth line.
That's okay. I would say, Cowan scratched.
Yeah, I think that's probably time.
Yeah. I would probably replace Robertson with Blais. Just, I don't know. If Lorentz is going to play center, you might as well just go all heavy.
He can't put Domi at center.
Yeah, I tell you what. Here's all I give a shit about next game. Who's toughest Leaf in a fight right now?
That's a hard Stallers.
Like, okay, I'm looking at Nyes. I'm looking at Joshua. I'm looking at McCabe. Maybe Benny. Probably not Benny. It's just he'll do it.
Benny's hurt though.
Okay, so one of the names I just mentioned, you grab Brendan Dillon on Tuesday. The rest of you grab everyone else. I don't give a fuck what your name is. I have no desire to watch a hockey game on Tuesday. And like points in the standings matter. You need these October points. You're obviously not that desperate for them. I saw you play against Seattle. I saw you
play against Detroit.
Play the first one period of hockey against Detroit and then fuck it in the last minute. So I know you're not all that worked up about the points, so don't give me that shit. There will be no hockey game on Tuesday if you care about the Crest. There will be no hockey game on Tuesday. I cannot wait to watch 60 minutes of one power play each hockey and not a fight to be had.
That's how the Devils play too.
Great. You, outside of Brendan Dillon, they might be the softest team in the league.
Meyer can be tough.
They're a great team. They're a very, very good team. Might win the division, could win the conference, could contend, honestly. Mm-hmm. I think they're a very good team. But they have had a problem for many years, and that is they're soft. And Keefe's their coach. And he'll be like, no, our toughness is our power play or whatever. I know that was Babcock, but Keefe was almost a worse version of that at times. The one of the softest but best teams in the conference is going to walk into your building, and this is the impression you are going to leave your fans with before you go on the road. There can't be a hockey game Tuesday. I'm not interested in it. The Jays are so likable right now because they're never out of a game, ever. They get performances from everybody, including their big guys. I went thermonuclear on the Leafs on Saturday night. LFR numbers have been doing well in the 5 games leading up to that. And I said, this one's 100K guaranteed. Nope. No one gives a fuck about this team. Why on God's green earth would they? Who cares? The Leafs are far more interesting to people who hate the Leafs than Leafs fans.
That's true. Yeah.
The Leafs
too
are
bad.
far more interesting to people who hate the Leafs than Leafs fans. What is there to cheer about?
One thing you said, I think you texted it the other day. You said early returns on this team aren't good, and
they're horrifying.
I think it's such a fair assessment because I'm usually very bullish on things take time, and I believe in Craig Berube and the system he's implementing, but he just might not have the people based on the roster that's being constructed. And I think it's fair to say that early on through 6 games, small sample size, but through those 6 games, there isn't a lot of things to point at and say, this thing is really working. Because you go through the individual points in this lineup that they've constructed, and everybody's kind of been a miss in the things we want out of them.
The worst teams in the league are the teams where you point at them and you go, I don't know what they are. So for years, the Leafs have been a top 6 heavy team. And, you can talk about the flaws in that. We talked about them ad nauseum, but at least you knew what they were. Mm-hmm. And you knew they could get through the regular season like that. And every trade deadline, you would try to address those concerns. That's the tact the organization took. That's the strategy they took. At very least, you knew what they were. You knew they were good enough. Mm-hmm. And then every trade deadline, you try to push them over that hump. And it didn't work. Okay, whatever. But you can make the playoffs like that. Then there's the tough outs. There's the skilled teams. There's the skating teams. What are they? We thought they were going to be a heavy team that leans on you, crashes the net, gets in your face, and they're going to get some goals because they still have a lot of skill. Mm-hmm. Nope. You got dog walked by the Seattle Kraken. Go away forever. Like, I'm at the point, Mitch is gone. Like, the addition by subtraction was never going to be a thing. You have to, as they said for months, change the DNA. And all you are is a less skilled version of last year's Leafs. Mm-hmm. Of course you suck. Of course you suck. And now I find out you're even more meek than before? Ew. I don't think, a player I truly miss. If they were traded. What attachment should I have or any Leafs fan have to this team? You are utterly, the opposite of the Toronto Blue Jays. You are utterly, truly, at the core of your soul, unlikable.
Are you worried about them being a playoff team this year?
They're probably a playoff team, but what? Okay, if they miss the playoffs, then you got to change things up.
Well, you don't have a first round pick either. So I do think they're a playoff team. I do think they get it together. I do think it's October, right? If you're the Senators right now, you've just sent down Levi Merrilainen and you're looking to Mad Sogard because Linus Ullmark's not pulling it together and you can't kill a penalty. The Oilers can't score. There are so many teams out there that are ripping it right now. I don't trust the Detroit Red Wings October hot streak. I saw this movie in 2020.
5-1.
But yeah, they've had a great start.
Emmett Finney. Unreal.
I am what I am going to say is that I've been really surprised by the lack of toughness from guys who are tough.
If they miss the playoffs and blow up the roster, what are we preserving?
Well, we're not going there. Let's talk about what's here. Okay? Because this is game 6.
Yeah.
So who cares about if they fucking miss the playoffs right now? What I'm looking at is what's this team? Okay, you brought in all these guys. They're supposed to be mean. Like today, Sammy Blay's not in the lineup. You know what Sammy Blay is? Fucking mean. Why don't you put Sammy Blay in? See what he does. I know that Nick Robertson can score sometimes, but and full respect to Nick Robertson, the way he plays, McMahon for standing up for him or whatever. But I'm not interested in seeing Nick Robertson and Steven Lorentz get pinned in their own zone. I'd like to see something else.
If the Devils interpret Dakota Joshua, Nick Waugh, and Bobby McMahon, that line that we saw on paper, if the Devils interpret that line as anything less than hell on earth, I'm not interested in the team. I'm just not.
Have you ever gotten your partner a gift and you're like, I think they'll love this, and then they open the gift and then you get the, oh, that's cool.
All the time.
Does that actually happen to you a lot?
She's a terrible liar, yeah.
Okay. Can you remember anything that you got your wife, Steve, and you guys have been married over 15 years, that specifically she was like, does she come out and tell you, or does she lie first and then tell you later?
She used to lie first and tell me later, and we know each other well enough that she'll just tell me.
Jesse, does that happen to you too? You're a good gift giver.
No, I'm generally a good gifter because I lean on things like this place.
Yeah, it's Jenny Bird.
It is true.
Jenny Bird's awesome because it's the gift that she probably won't return,
Right.
which is great.
And this is great because I love birds.
It's modern, elevated, and guaranteed style that is awesome. I got my wife actually some earrings recently from Jenny Bird, and she absolutely loves them. It ships fast. It's perfect for gifting, and especially if you need like a last minute, better grab that. And remember that with the holidays coming up, it's not just about the 25th of December. It's also about all the gifts that you have to give along the way from the people that you see. And you'll love the pricing options with Jenny Bird. You will love the packaging because it's beautiful and thoughtful, and she'll find the pieces easy to wear, and you'll get lots of compliments too, which is great. So get 20% off your first order with Jenny Bird by visiting jenny-bird.com and use the promo code DANGLE at checkout. Again, that's 20% off your first order. Jenny Bird, jenny-bird.com, and use the promo code DANGLE at checkout. Now, I mentioned Ottawa struggling and the Oilers not scoring. I just want to say, friggin' Jake Sanderson and Evan Bouchard are just tanking my fantasy team right now. At least Jake Sanderson has gotten some points, though. Travis Green was asked about Ottawa's diamond PK formation. He said, right now, we're sticking with the diamond. We've made some mistakes and we haven't been aggressive. We haven't done the simple things well enough. It's a work in progress. And it's fair to say early in the season that it can be. Not a great start for the Ottawa Senators.
Oh, no. So I don't know what all the stages of grief are, but isn't one of them it's pleading or bargaining?
Right, yeah.
This is bargaining.
Oh, no.
We're bad because of the diamond.
Well, that's not what he's saying, though.
No, right? No. But the reason it's a talking point is because people are going, if only they fix this one thing.
Ottawa has a 60.9 PK percentage kill rate, meaning that out of every 10 opportunities, the opponent's getting 4 goals, and there's one team worse than them. Name them.
Please not the Leafs.
No.
The Sharks.
Nope. Jesse, name the team with worst PK percentage.
The Sabres.
No, the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Oh.
And by the way, Columbus has also the worst power play percentage in the league. Actually, second worst, 7.7% conversion rate.
Wow.
That's pretty bad too.
That is.
It's good to see Columbus and Calgary sink back to where we kind of thought they were. Now,
no, it isn't.
Now I want to see. I want to know, in terms of like Ottawa and this, I feel like this is something you iron out. This is why you have a long season.
Yeah, it's something you got to manage, though, because the season didn't get off to a hot start, like just with all the Allmark stuff, and there's some doubts there as well.
Yeah, man, him starting camp and saying, I've hated my camp so far.
Yeah, and injuries. I mean, Brady Tkachuk, that's a huge... It's not just a skill issue, like losing that skill from your lineup. It's an identity issue, right? Like you are a lot less of what you are without Brady Tkachuk. You just are. The Panthers don't have that problem nearly as much because they're missing a Tkachuk brother too.
Mm-hmm.
But their identity is they're insane. The Sens, I don't know, they're kind of pesky, right? But it's easier to be pesky when you basically have Frankenstein out there who's willing to fight and hit anybody. Now he's not there. And you're losing those goals, and you're losing those shots, and you're losing those hits, and you're losing that factor. I can't remember who it was on Detroit. Huge guy, Edvinson, who challenged someone on the Sens, and Tkachuk comes in there like a bat out of hell and is just like, go me, asshole. Losing that from your lineup is a big deal. But the reason I say the Sens have to manage this situation is we've, in recent memory, seen a season get away from them in October, and they never got it back. Remember Ubergate?
Yep. With Duchesne.
with Duchesne.
I think Formanton was in there.
And yes, he was there. He was one of Chris Weidman.
And they were complaining about their assistant coach.
Yep. They had several Octobers like that where it got away from them. They're not, I mean, they might miss the playoffs. I don't think they're a guaranteed playoff team. Odds are I would have them as a playoff team. I think they'll probably end up being okay, but every year there's at least a few teams who ought to be in the fight and they just put it in the ditch for whatever reason, and they're on watch.
The Oilers are in the ditch as well. Mark Spector tweeted out a quote from Connor McDavid saying he was pissed off that he doesn't score more goals.
Yeah, they're all-wheel drive, though. They put it in the ditch and drive out of it all the time.
And Connor McDavid has not had the greatest start in Connor McDavid's history. 0 goals through 6 games. Has not scored yet.
Well, there's no motivation. He's got a contract.
Let me read you this, too.
That's a joke.
Evan Bouchard in his games this season.
I couldn't believe that.
0 goals.
Yeah.
0 assists. 0 points. -3 rating and 11 giveaways so far. That's 4th among NHL defensemen.
I can't believe he hasn't fluked into a point.
Not one.
Not one. That's insane.
Well, I think the thing is, if McDavid and Draisaitl aren't scoring, then neither is Evan.
Fair enough. Yeah. Shorthanded goal from Connor McDavid. Damn it. Connor Brown.
So Leon Draisaitl, 4 goals this year.
Okay.
So between the 3 of them, the top 3 guys on that team, there was 4 goals between Evan Bouchard, Connor McDavid, and Leon Draisaitl.
McDavid doesn't have a goal?
I just told you that. I said he's got 7 assists.
I don't think my brain registered.
Yeah, 7 assists, 6 games. That's it.
The 7 assists help you ignore that, but really?
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. That's also just not that crazy of an accomplishment for Connor McDavid.
No.
It was also supposed to be his emphasis this year was I want to show everybody I can score 60 goals again.
Talking gets you into trouble a lot of the time, but
Yes.
we love someone who says they're going to do something and then they go out and do it. Again, I keep going back to Morgan Rielly. I wasn't good enough last year. I'm going to be better. And he's the best player on the ice in game 1. We got mad at him when he wasn't as good after that because we're like, what the hell? He was one of very small group of players, you could say, probably had a good game against Seattle. When you plant your flag and you say, I want to score more goals, and you're over, it's a tough look.
I want to also mention that I have fought with Sabres fans for years about the Jack Eichel trade, and they keep telling me, actually, it was good, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Guys, I live 2 hours away from you. I'm aware of the stories. Jack Eichel has started this season with 15 points in 6 games.
Pretty good.
Shit.
And people are saying, oh, it's Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner doesn't play on Jack Eichel's line. He plays with Thomas Hertl and Pavel Dorofeyev.
I don't remember if I said this before the season, but I knew he was going to end up with Dorofeyev.
It makes sense. Dorofeyev's a great goal scorer.
You're pure playmaker, pure goal scorer. What are you doing?
Alex Tuch, who is one of the main pieces that came back in the Buffalo deal, Buffalo Vegas deal, has had a pretty good start. 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. He is apparently they're now talking that there's a Buffalo tax. It's not just a tax in New York State, but there's a Buffalo tax. And yes, he's from the area. But they're talking about Alex Tuch, who's never hit 80 points in a season, making $11 million.
What's his point total again, and in how many games?
4 in 5.
And you want what?
He wanted 6. He had 67 in 82 last year, including 36 goals.
I'm sorry, that's a trade request. You're out of your mind.
I don't think Buffalo can trade him.
You're an insane person, though. I don't know. You should maybe trade insane people, because what are you talking about? You want what? To do what? What are you speaking about? Where did you get that number from? Who's giving you advice? That's a trade request, or you're certifiable.
Well, I mean, they are hockey players.
Yeah, but I see 2 options there, because I don't know who told you deserve that.
It has been, and I'm just going to move. I'm just moving around here because we got to get through these things pretty quickly.
He's a great player. He's very good.
Anything you guys want to add into these that I bring up, but I'm just going to move on here. Let me give you some stats, and then you tell me who it is. It's a goalie.
Oh, I like this. Okay.
First 5 games of the season, 937 save percentage and a 196 goals against average. Who am I talking about?
Can I have their record?
No.
Damn.
Oh,
Who am I talking about?
Jeremy Swayman.
Okay, Jesse, who am I talking about?
Igor Shesterkin.
Spencer Knight, Chicago.
Oh, yeah, he's been unreal.
Spencer Knight, Chicago Blackhawks.
Damn.
Blackhawks beat the Ducks in OT yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And
how mad were you?
You know what? I was big mad, but I also have Bedard in fantasy, so I wasn't that big mad. It has been over 700 days since the Blackhawks were over 500.
Wow. I got a tweet last night from someone saying, "Can you guys please come back to San Jose? That was the last time the Sharks won in regulation."
Are you serious?
I don't think they've won a regulation
since we were there.
Yeah, we did
March.
This. Remember?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, but we did that like a month or two ago.
Yeah, it hasn't changed.
Like,
They haven't
and it
won yet.
hasn't changed, and they've continued to play.
Yeah,
it's been more than half a year since. I mean, they didn't play games most of the time.
Yeah, the win they had against the Leafs there in that OT game was their last victory.
And even in that game, they had a 2-goal lead in the final minute that they blew. Like, yeah, you ended up winning, but yeah, it's tough.
In Philadelphia,
brutal.
Jet Lukashenko is going to play tonight. They hadn't played him yet, and they were Guelph's kind of wondering, like, hey, are you going to play our guy, or can we have him back?
They got caved in a couple early season games.
Well, and so here's the deal. Rick Tocchet has been shortening the bench. Michkov, Ablos, Delorier, and I think and Ablos are out, and that's why Lukashenko's getting in. But Michkov had his last shift at 11:48 to go in the third this weekend. So that means he had 12 minutes left to play in the game, and Tocchet said no. And there are rumors out of Philly that he showed up out of shape this year.
There are James Harden-like pictures that have been sent to me of... It's difficult, right? Because I look in the mirror every day and I go...
I'm aware of how I look.
Yeah. And then I look at him and I'm like, go on. That's a regular man. But he is looking a little... He looks heavy.
And
it's for an NHL player, he looks heavy.
And listen, Tortorella did this to him a bunch of times last year, and everybody was hard on Tortorella. Maybe Torts had a point.
Well...
Different reasons, I think.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? Like... everyone wants to see the kid, the new hope, and you got crotchety old school guy in Torts, and Torts is never going to win that battle, ever. New guy comes in,
and he's a team legend, by the way, Rick Tocchet.
There's a reason,
Philly legend.
There's a reason guys, when they get injured and it's not good news, they go out and they look for a second opinion. Rick Tocchet is the second opinion. And early returns are not great. Listen, that guy's going to be insane.
But can you, when you start the season out of shape, I mean, you're more prone to injuries, but also, can you get in shape during the season?
Yes, I think you can, but you're not doing it by playing 20 minutes a night. You're doing it on the bike. Don't be surprised if he gets healthy. I'm not kidding. I don't think they're going to do it, but they might.
Did you guys see this weekend Matthew Olivier at 6'1" taking down Curtis Douglas, who is 6'9" in a fight?
No, I have not. Why wasn't he just like, oh?
Because Matthew Olivier is the undisputed champion of hockey right now.
He is the heavyweight champion. But big beat up small. Why didn't he just go, oh?
Because he's Matthew Olivier.
Oh, because he's Matthew Olivier?
Yeah. And Columbus is having a bit of a tough start, so he's getting the boys going.
Can you think of any team that could use something like that?
Yeah, I can. I actually think there's a few we've mentioned. And the last thing I wanted to bring up before we bring Ken Reid on, Jesse, you asked me to put this in the show rundown. I'm not sure if you want to do it today or Wednesday, but you wanted to talk Yahoo Fantasy for a second.
And how much time do we get to talk about?
How much time do you need? Because we can save it for Wednesday, but I know you got a gripe. And I think it's a legitimate
we
one.
Can save it if you want. I don't want to just start the conversation and it's got to end because we got to cut it off. So we can save it then.
Then Wednesday we will do it. Ooh. Because Jesse's got and it's a legitimate one, and a lot of people are complaining about it, and I don't think it's getting enough play.
Interesting.
It's BS. So, shall we bring Ken Reid on?
Let's do it.
Hey, today's episode is brought to you by Fabletics. When you live in activewear, and we do, you can never get enough. But the good stuff usually costs a fortune, which is why we love Fabletics. And we introduced Steve and changed his life. And
I thought it was Fable Ticks.
Fable. How impressed was your wife with your fashion sense when you told her that?
I was like, oh yeah, we got a new sponsorship. It's with Fable Ticks. She's like, oh, okay. And then I showed her the website and she was just like, you idiot.
Now, here's the deal. You can get pieces that feel premium, perform premium, but without the crazy price tag. And when you sign up as a VIP, you get 80% off everything. There's a monthly fee that gives you exclusive membership benefits, including credit that you can use towards a full outfit bundle up to $100, which is pretty cool. And Jesse, let's talk about the quality here because that's important.
Yeah, it feels like the same thing as the other guys, except it's like a quarter of the price.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I like that.
Yep.
Also, you know what I like too? The fit and feel kind of being dialed in, no waistbands rolling down, joggers that actually keep their shape. That's a major problem, especially when you get big, thick hockey legs like moi. And it's also kind of cool because they're not just about good deals. This is eco-friendly stuff. Half of their fabrics are made with recycled materials, and the company has been carbon neutral since 2021, which I think is pretty great. If you want to treat yourself, and we want you to gear that looks good, feels good, and doesn't break the bank, you should go with Fabletics. And by the way, I don't want to mention it before American Thanksgiving and Halloween, but there is a big holiday where you could buy some presents up for grabs, and that VIP membership might help you. Go to fabletics.com/SDP, sign up as a VIP and get 80% off everything. Everything. That's fabletics.com/SDP to sign up as a VIP and get 80% off everything. Fabletics.com/SDP. The book is the next one. Ken Reid, Hockey Scouts, Remote Rinks, and Hidden Talent, and a longtime friend of the show, and so great to have him back. Mr. Ken Reid is in studio. So Ken, listen, whenever we come up with like weird niche ideas that we would totally read a book for, we're like, you know what, Ken would write that.
Yep,
it's so true.
Like some of your previous books, your one night only books. I do think there's room for a 2 night only.
Yeah, sure.
1 goal only, whatever it is. But this one is a kind of a departure for you. And I want it for anybody that hasn't heard about it yet. What are they getting into when they read this?
Full disclosure, not my idea. That idea was from Kevin Hansen from Simon & Schuster.
Okay.
And he said, I think Hockey Scouts would have great stories. I said, yeah, I think you're right. He goes, why don't you do a book about it? So I said, okay. So I didn't want to do a book about, this is what I look for in a player and the analytical breakdown and all this.
I didn't want to do an analytical breakdown.
No, not me.
Shocked by that.
You know me, guys. I love to sit around and talk hockey stories.
Yeah.
Right? But if we're having a beer, having a coffee, and that's what this is. So scouts, they're kind of they would be the audio camera operator. They'd be the Maddie of the Steve Dangle podcast. Not enough credit, right?
Never enough credit. Never enough.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Ken.
No problem. These scouts do so much work. They go to all these places, and when you're traveling around and you're going remote rink to remote rink or big rinks, you're going to have some stories. And these guys have some stories. And what I also wanted to do was not just tell the stories that they've encountered, but I wanted to know who they are. Because everybody just assumes a scout's just an old player, and he's assigned a scout.
Sure.
People probably don't know that some of the scouts in this book, one guy's a musician, and I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the story, the song 38 Years Old by the Tragically Hip.
Yes, absolutely.
12 men broke loose in 73 from Millhaven Maximum Security. Well, to be honest, it was 15 men who broke loose. 1 came back because of the flies. 14 escaped. And I know that because one of the scouts in this book was the psychologist at Millhaven Maximum Security during the breakout.
What?
Yes. 12 was done for poetic license because 12 is easier to say than 14. And 1 came back because of the flies. The scout's name is Paul Henry. I call him the Dos Equis man of scouts. He's the most interesting scout in the world. And he was a psychologist at Millhaven Max. And he went on to a scouting career that would blow your mind. He was responsible for putting the 94 Canadian Olympic team together. He scouted for the New York Rangers. He scouted for the St. Louis Blues as well. But for me, I discovered him because when I went to do this book, I said, well, one thing I want to know, if I'm going to do a book on hockey scouts, is I want to know how the Halifax Mooseheads have this pipeline to Europe. Like they just get European stud after European stud every year, no matter where they're drafting in the European draft. So Cam Russell, their GM, said, Paul Henry. I said, who? He said, you have to talk to Paul Henry. And Paul Henry's the guy. I said, okay. And he goes, Now, I'll give you Paul Henry's number. Don't call Paul Henry. You have to meet Paul Henry in person.
Oh,
he is the coolest dude ever. He's just oozes positivity. So one day I walk into a hockey alumni luncheon at Scotiabank Pond that Paul Patsku, hockey historian, puts on. And this guy comes up to me. He goes, I got to tell you, you didn't do George Palawa justice in your last book. And I did a story on George Palawa in my last book about how he was a draft pick of the Flames, high school hockey stud out of Minnesota. He unfortunately passed away right before his freshman year at North Dakota. And the guy's like, he was the most beautiful player I've ever seen. He was a man. The guy that came and accosted me about that was Paul Henry.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So later after the luncheon, I sat and talked with Paul for 4 hours, and that's the story in the book. And yeah, like, I didn't think I'd be talking to a guy that played prisoner hockey and was a psychologist, lived and worked in a halfway house, had a gun pulled on him, and ended up being one of the best hockey scouts in the world. So that's
some of the stories you're going to get in here.
That's the book.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's the book. Yeah.
Wow.
Storytelling.
Nice
How do you scout the scouts? Like, how did you narrow it down?
That's a great question. How do you scout the scouts? Well, there's a few guys I knew, obviously, and then there's where'd this guy come from? And I wonder how did you look at a player and you wonder how did he end up here, and you kind of trace it backwards and you find the scout that found him. And also what I wanted to do was we can all look at a game and go, oh, Connor McDavid's really good, but how do you know who the fourth line guy is? So I kind of went from that, and yeah, I guess how do you scout the scouts? You do it backwards. You start and you trace it back.
Do you look at results? And then,
you look at results, but you also, in doing this book, a lot of the scouts would say, well, you got to call this guy too. So there was a lot of that. And then there's just guys that I kind of knew of their legend. And I'm like, I'd really like to talk to this guy. Archie Henderson was a longtime scout. He was kind of one of the first pro scouts in the game. And he basically tells me, look, if you wanted to pro scout a game before, say, like 1990, and you wanted to know about a guy who is playing in Toronto, you'd just call up your buddy, from Penetang. You'd say, hey, I'll give you a room at the Royal York and you can buy your wife a steak. Go look at this player for me. Maybe we'll trade for him. And Craig Button's dad hired Archie as one of the first pro scouts for the Washington Capitals. So, that was kind of cool. And then you start talking to Archie, and Archie's a character, and he was a former AHL tough guy, which I obviously love. And you find out that when he was drafted by the Capitals, he was working all night in a flour plant, in a bakery, working overnight, got home, went to bed, woke up, and his mom said, there's a call from General McNabb in Washington. He's like, General McNabb? Now, Archie will be the first to admit he wasn't probably the most guy up on current events in the 70s. He thought he was drafted to the Vietnam War. And I'm going, well, Archie, you're Canadian, and it was 1977, but that's the story. And then his first year pro, he's in an incident that ends up in the pages of Sports Illustrated for its outright goonery in Port Huron, I think it was. And, all these stories lead to, and now I'm a hockey scout. And now, and then there's a guy like Brad Davis, whose dad was Lauren Davis, who's this amazing scout, legendary hockey scout. And he grew up at his father's table in Regina. And whenever a hockey scout would come through town, they'd sit and they'd have dinner, and little Brad would stay there. And the next thing he knows, his dad's scouting for the Edmonton Oilers, and it's 1982 or whatever, and there's an exhibition game in Saskatchewan, and he's practicing with the Oilers. And then he ends up being the guy that drafts Andrew Cogliano for the Oilers. Wow. Because he does all these European trips, but that's the lockout year. He's not doing all the traveling because they're cutting back on costs. He says, well, I might as well go scout Junior A. Mm-hmm. Who scouts the OJ for NHL perspective? Not many guys. He finds Cogliano. So there was a lot of detective work putting it all around, which was fun.
I'd love to know how many guys in Junior A, like all around the country, just go unnoticed purely for the tag of being Junior A. Because one of the funniest stories I've heard in recent hockey memory, just based on how it worked out, the Colorado Avalanche pick Cale Makar 4th overall, and Nathan MacKinnon admitted he was upset about it.
Yeah, because he's picked from the Brooks Bandits, right?
From the AJHL. Yeah. Is that how? Well, I guess the book.
Well, one of the
guys from all over the place.
Well, one of the cool things in the book is there's a scout named Bill Heffernan, and I call him the singing scout because Bill's a musician as well. And his bread and butter was finding guys in Junior A.
There you go.
Finding the passed over guys because that don't get the major, finding the late bloomers, right? Now that's all blown up now because of the NCAA rule where major junior guys can play. So I think junior A, I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to become a lot more local, but I just saw Bill again last week actually. And he said, I don't know what the future of junior A was. That was my bread and butter, was getting these late bloomers. And he scouted for Cornell University. And from Cornell, he worked his way up to scout for the Winnipeg Jets. And even when he was scouting for the Winnipeg Jets, his bread and butter was scouting junior A and looking for these guys who were going to try to get NCAA and maybe I can get them earlier. So yeah, guys sneaking through junior A was a thing. I don't know what's going to happen with that now. But yeah, that was kind of a cool thing about doing the book too, because you talk to Bill Heffernan, who's this junior A scout, but the next thing I know, he's a musician, and he ends up singing this song at the same luncheon where I met Paul Henry about a scouting trip with Glenn Hall, and it's called Glenn and the Geese. It's actually a pretty good song too. It's actually a really good song. And Bill says he's going to sing it at my book launch. By the way.
Oh, there you go.
November 3rd, 5 to 7 p.m. at the Bottom Line, 22 Front Street West, Toronto, Ontario.
And Glenn Hall,
yes,
for the youngins, has probably the most unbreakable record in NHL history.
What was it, 504?
502 consecutive starts as a goaltender. And will never be broken.
And threw up before every one of them. And Glenn scouted for years for the Calgary Flames. So another guy, yeah.
Yes.
After doing the book, do you find that you lean to more towards like the draft as a crapshoot, or that there's an actual science to picking players?
Well, one lesson I learned from the book, there's no such thing as a bad scout. There are only bad coaches. That's what the scouts all told me. I think...
They all nailed it.
Yes. Yeah. I think the first one or two picks are pretty much consensus. And then I think you get into a bit of a crapshoot. And then I think in the later rounds, you just see something in a guy. And you're like, that's my Huckleberry. There's another scout in the book, Rick Knickel, Greenwood, Nova Scotia. Rick came to fame, and I was like, I have to talk to Rick Knickel. Because in 1993, Rick Knickel was playing for the San Diego Gulls. He was 31 years old. He was drafted in 79. He'd never played a game in the NHL. And all of a sudden, he's signed by the LA Kings because Wayne's brother Keith's playing in San Diego. He's like, you got to check this goalie out. And Rick goes on a run with the LA Kings. And the run was quickly done. It lasted a few games and then 4 more the following season. But Rick goes into scouting. And Rick's thing, when he was scouting for Nashville. And his thing was my bread and butter. It's that 3rd, 4th round pick. That's where I can identify a guy. And so that's
crazy that it gets to that sort of specialization.
Yeah. And that's what makes a scout, right? That's what makes a scout, when you can find that 3rd round guy. So one of his most famous 3rd round picks, and he fought for it, and Nashville ended up trading so they could get the pick to select him, was Jordan Tutu.
Wow.
And Rick first saw Jordan Tutu. Rick played his junior. So this is how it works, right? It's just so random. Rick played his junior hockey in Brandon, played for the Brandon Wheat Kings. He's back in the summer and he's helping out, at Wheat Kings camp, and he's working the door and he's coaching teams in their inter-squad games. And there's this 14-year-old kid, and he's just smashing everybody. And the 14-year-old kid comes back to the bench and he looks up at Rick. He goes, are we allowed to fight? And he's like, well, I guess if you want to. This 14-year-old kid goes out and beats the living tar out of some other kid. And this 14-year-old kid's on his radar. Where's this kid from? He's from Rankin Inlet. No, he's not. It's Jordan Tutu. So even from seeing him at 14, he's like, there's something within this kid. So Nashville ends up drafting him. Successful pick. So yeah, there's definitely an art to finding a guy. There's another scout in the book who found Antoine Roussel, not drafted to the Quebec.
Rat.
Yes.
Just an absolute rat.
Not drafted to the Quebec League, not drafted to Dallas. Ends up being a guy that's, just begging for ice time with the Chicago Wolves, but a scout saw something in him. And yeah, a lot of the talent is identifying those rats, those 3rd, 4th line guys that can do something and add something to your team, which all awesome championship teams need, as we've seen with your guys' Toronto Maple Leafs. You run Anthony Stolarz and Roussel and Tutu are on the ice. They'll do something unlike your super soft team.
Yes. Yeah.
So scouts will find guys that take care of Anthony Stolarz.
Ken, you walked in today and congratulated Steve on finally converting to your side of thinking.
Oh, I want to congratulate all 3 of you, to be honest. You're all coming around. I mean,
you were right.
Look at this old gray beard now.
I know. You know what it was? a young mistake that I made.
Yes.
Is I thought growth was linear, and I thought growth went in one direction. It seemed like hockey was heading in a certain direction, and the Leafs were building in that direction. And I thought, good, you're going with the times. Things are changing. Not only is let's just say straight up violence always going to be part of hockey, I think it's slowly, and I'm very curious to know what you think, I think it's getting more violent. Like, I think compared to like 5 years ago, let's say, it's a way more tough, violent sport than it used to be.
Well, first off, if we could entitle this segment Validation with Ken Reid. I think you're right. It's always going to ebb and flow, right? There's going to be certain eras where certain things happen. But I think, and I've said this, when you get to the final 4 teams, those are the 4 teams that play different than the other 28. And maybe back in the day, it was the 4 that play different from the other 17 when it was a 21-team league. I think with the way it's a copycat league, when you see the way the Florida Panthers have won, pack mentality hockey, all 4 lines play the same. I think you're going to see teams try to copy that. And I think your Leafs, I totally see why you bought into that, because you had a GM, I think, that was thinking that as well in Dubas, and I don't blame him for thinking that. It didn't work. At the end of the day, it has to be a team. You have to stand up for each other. In a game 6, if somebody runs your goalie and you're not willing to do something because you're going on a power play, that is a gift for a team to send a message to go, we're not going to be messed with. We're a new team. I don't know what happens to players when they put on that sweater, but is it more violent now than it was, say, 5 years ago? I don't know. That's hard to say. I think there's scraps around, there's hits around. I think it's just so fast that the speed lends itself to the violence. There's going to be super collisions. The hit the other night, Tom Wilson, was that a late hit on Hedl?
Last night, yeah.
Yeah. Was it late? Probably. Can you blame Wilson? No. His job's to check the guy. Does he know he's going to dish the puck off in that second? Does he have time to pull off? So
There wasn't a penalty on the ice.
There wasn't a penalty on the ice. There's going to be no supplemental discipline. So
and by the way, Hedl just got placed on retroactive IR.
Right.
He's really out.
He smoked them. There's things that the game can do to cut back on that. You can let a guy throw a pick like they used to do back in the day on, say, an icing call before it was hybrid icing. But is it more violent? I don't know if it's more violent, but it's a sport that just lends itself to physicality. And whenever people try to change the script, it can work to a certain extent, but it'll never get you over the top. I don't think it'll ever get you over the top. Like, you look at the Edmonton Oilers, man, of 84. Super, super, super skilled team. But what else? They were also tough, violent. You didn't touch Wayne. I name drop. I interviewed somebody the other day. They told me they walked into the Edmonton Oilers dressing room one time, and Ken LaCusta, former Canadian heavyweight champ, was in there with a heavy bag, showing 3 of the guys how to box. Wow. So it's a tough game. You guys know. I bet all 3 of you guys, I bet you've all snapped on the ice or been pissed off. Yeah. Didn't think you would be. And imagine doing that where
mostly at myself for not being able to skate.
Yeah. But I think violence is always going to be part of it. I don't think it's violent now. I think it's tough and stuff happens. If you want to say violent, I think that was unnecessary crap in the 70s where if you hit one guy in the Boston Bruins, 4 guys would jump you. At least there's honor in it now, and it's one-on-one, and you're going to go. And speaking of scraps, can I give a shout out to Summerside PEI's very own Alex Gallant of the Calgary Wranglers, the best fighter in pro hockey. If you haven't seen it last night, he had another goal in the American League. It was a thing of beauty.
I was sent that by multiple people yesterday.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Ken, I want to ask you about the Blue Jays because obviously when the Blue Jay games end or even mid-game, I mean, I saw last night, and a lot of people will not catch this until after Game 7. I'm sorry, but I saw you pull out all the candy wrappers that Ivanka was stressing.
Yes.
Yeah. You're the first person we see after a Blue Jay.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Isn't that awkward?
You and Ivanka.
A lot of men tell me I'm the last person they see before they go to bed.
Yeah, it's true.
So how has that gone for you guys? How does that change your schedule when you're doing, the late night highlight show?
Well, as I told you guys before we came on, my sleep schedule is screwed up even more than it's usually screwed up. If the Blue Jays win, it makes my life exciting. If the Blue Jays lose, it makes my life easier. So what do I want?
Yep.
Do I want excitement or ease? You guys know the grind. When the Leafs go on a run, you're going. But it's fun.
When's that happening?
Yeah. I don't know. But it's fun, and that's adrenaline. That's why we do the job. It's a blast to sit there and watch the games. Game 7, you guys, listen, when you're listening to this, you'll know what happened. I will just say they have the ability to win. I would also say from the other night, I think they have the most ability to win when the people up top get off their computers and judge the humans in front of them. Please, in a one-game situation, it's not a math equation.
Well, they did it. They did it in Game 6.
We
Hoffman
saw it.
came out. He did 2 innings.
Yeah, Hoffman, I can't believe he pitched 2, but in Game 5, it was Brios 2.0. I blame Brendan Little in no way whatsoever. That was not his fault. He was put in a situation where he couldn't succeed. So I find it hard, and I will say this, win or lose for the Blue Jays. I find it hard. I can imagine their fan base, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this in a way. A fan pours his or her heart into a team. They give them their heart. And that critical moment when something is judged based on a predetermined math equation instead of the human you see in front of it, I find that heartbreaking. I think you got to judge it by what you see in front of you, not by a plan you came up with from some dork at 4 p.m. on his computer.
Yeah, there were people online making the argument, well, they did make the right call. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, you know what's crazy?
Those are the same people that tweet me.
Yeah, well,
Don't.
I think the thing about it is that over 162 games in a regular season or 82 in a hockey season, that can work out more in your favor than not. But when the only thing matters that matters is the result. If the result is not favorable, then you made the wrong call.
Best stat in the world is wins, man. When you run a marathon, okay? Let's say there's a marathon. The Toronto Marathon was in my neighborhood the other day. By the way, props to the city of Toronto for not getting the pylons off my street. I'm trying to drive to work. I'm trying to drive to work at 9 p.m. and there's pylons all over my street. Yeah. This city's a mess. Okay, a whole other tirade.
Ken and I live in roughly the same area, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Listen, the way you guys are coming around right now on tough hockey and responsibility, the next time I come in here, it's going to be awesome because you're going to be yelling abolish bike lanes. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. What was I being asked
We're talking about the wins being the best stat.
Yeah, it's the best stat. But yeah, when you're running a marathon, okay, you got to pace yourself. But at some point in that marathon, you got to up it. You got to sprint. You got to judge when. Same with baseball season. It's long, and I totally get that. Oh, well, on an average day, blah 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 blah. That's for the season.
Yes.
On a day-to-day, it's different. Maybe your pitcher has a cold. Maybe he got in an argument with his wife. Maybe he's not feeling that good. You got to judge that day-to-day. So let the human element breathe in a one-game situation. And I think the Jays have the ability to let it breathe, but you got to shut out a lot of outside.
The numbers are made up of performances from people in the right situation.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
We can twist numbers all we want, right? That's
and sometimes the best stories from sports come from people in the wrong situation who get it done.
Absolutely.
And I think that's part of it as well. But I wanted to ask you specifically because what I've been so impressed by is the freedom that you guys have to cover the Jays the way you want to. Because the team owner also owns Sportsnet.
Yep.
And Joe Siddall went off after Game 5. I'm curious about, is there any sort of hesitation on your side going, oh, Joe, like, man, I wouldn't say that.
People ask us that all the time. You guys have seen me on TV.
Yeah, we have.
Joe, no. I think what viewers want is honesty. And I think a lot of people say, oh, we don't get this from you guys because you own the team. Well, I didn't see any of you tweeting at us the other night. You know, that was honest. And here's the thing. We came on last night and we talked about how after Game 5, everybody was all over John Schneider. And I said, deservedly so. And I said, tonight, it's all praise for John Schneider, deservedly so. I think as long as you're honest with your audience, and in baseball, it's a long season, and you can't lose it after every game. It's like, what do they say about a hockey coach? He has about two bullets a year to just go off on his players in his room. You can't freak out after every loss. You can't. But when something's on a plate for you, and it's clearly not the right decision, and you're a baseball guy like Joe, who the break before said, you got to go with Hoffman, and then you got to go with Sir Anthony, and then Little comes out, that's a night where you got to go. And everybody was on it. We were all being honest. And then after game 6, we were all being honest as well because they deserve their flowers after game 6.
Right. And I think John Schneider bringing out Hoffman was an admission that he was wrong in game 5 because it was the exact 3 batters that Brendan Little faced in the exact same inning. Yeah. And you didn't go to Brendan Little there. So why would you go to him in game 5? He was wrong and admitted it.
Yeah, perhaps he learned his lesson. But there's one thing I would love to take from baseball players and baseball people that I wish I could bring into my own life. Is after game 5 on the day off on Saturday, Schneider said, I don't care what people say. I just have to live with my decision and it's on to the next game. Mm-hmm. Baseball has a beautiful way of moving on to the next game, much like a good goalie in hockey does. You just forget it. You forget about that goal and you move on. I think we would all be a lot stronger in our lives if we could do that, and Twitter would be a much nicer place, right? But you'd also be out of a job, which is the thing. But I often say on the TV, as fans and as broadcasters, it's our jobs to freak out. As the athletes, it's their jobs to remain calm.
Right.
Yeah.
And one last question for you. We've asked this about a couple of people. When the Leafs went out in the spring, the Florida Panthers did a masterful job trolling everybody and saying, well, it's the pressure from the media in Toronto. How mean do you think? And you're not a Leafs fan. You did not grow up watching the Leafs being like, go Leafs go, anything like that. So you moving here, coming here, integrating here, still not being a Leafs fan, what do you think of the Leafs media coverage in Toronto being too hard and the spotlight being too bright for certain players?
I think that's an absolute joke of a take. The media here is not hard on them. They're honest. In any way, they might be too nice, I think.
The pom-poms do come out.
Go to Montreal, okay? Go to Edmonton. I worked in Edmonton. That was a harsh media market.
Toronto's not even top 5.
Toronto is not tough at all. I've been in the room. I've been the beat guy. I did some beat work here. No, it's not tough. Also, after every game, you're carting 2 guys out. Open the room up. Seriously, on behalf of all reporters, can NHL teams please open the room again and have the players sit there so that we can talk to them and get actual stories like in this book? The next one, because you're hiding guys, you're bringing them out, there it is, you're scrumming them. All the questions are, what happened in this game? What do you think of tomorrow's game? There's no real stories. It's hard for reporters to get real stories. You guys just had Kevin McGran in here. Kevin's old school. He can probably relate to that as well. The media in this town is not hard on players. Players in this town, if you're not top 4 or 5 guys, you can walk anywhere. People don't know you without your number on your back or your helmet on your head. There's a player that lives in our neighborhood.
Yep.
We see him walking up and down the street. My kid says hi to him. He says hi back to our kid. He's super nice. Nobody bothers him.
I've seen him.
Oh, really? The player doesn't go,
No, exactly. He's fine. He's fine.
So you're saying Luke Fox isn't the devil?
No, Luke Fox is not the devil.
Is that Elliot Friedman calling?
No.
He's so scary.
No.
That whole pressure of playing in Toronto thing, that's a crock. And I don't know what it is about this organization. There's been books written about it. Brian Burke is famous, blue and white disease, but I don't know what it is about a team that when somebody runs your goalie, you just stand there. I would not do that in men's league. My child is 12 years old. He's a goalie. That would not happen on his team. There's a couple of twins on his team that would take care of business, but the pressure of playing in Toronto, no, not at all. I do not buy that in the least bit.
I love that answer. The book is called The Next One. Ken Reid, best-selling author of Hometown Hockey Heroes as well.
Oh, can I show you guys one more thing?
One more thing. Give it to us.
Okay, I brought this especially for you guys.
Okay.
Amazing.
As you guys know, Hometown Hockey Heroes was based on my childhood hero.
Yes.
Teapot. Right?
Oh,
yes.
The one
love a teapot story.
So I got this picture of T the other day. T's a man, as you guys know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, T is as man as you can get. Like, Teapot is my childhood junior C hero, for those of you who don't know. Teapot scored more goals than anyone. And I just want you guys to look at that picture of T.
We'll put this up on the...
Incredible.
Yeah. So there's T right there.
Yeah, he's got his... Are those for fishing?
Okay, here's the best part. Okay, I'm going to zoom out, guys. You ready? Is everybody looking at this? And can we... Okay. We'll put this up later, right?
Yeah.
Okay, watch as I zoom out.
Holy
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that a tuna?
That's a tuna. And that's my cousin Tyler. Tyler and T caught the tuna. Now, there's a rumor going around Pictou that the fish wasn't caught. The teapot established eye contact with the fish while it was in the water and willed it into the boat.
We love that.
But that's what T caught. My cousin.
For anyone listening, that is a 12 to 15 foot long tuna.
That's nasty looking.
Any idea of the weight?
You know what? I think that was around probably 750, I'd say. Now, my cousin Tyler.
Holy shit!
My cousin Ty, who was a good hockey player back in the day, he caught a 1,200 pounder one.
Wow.
A 1,200 pound tuna. What does one do with a 1,200 pound tuna?
Sell it. So here's what happens.
Where?
I'll tell you what happens, Dangle. This is what's crazy. So they catch it on a rod and reel. You're getting the seat. It's just like Jaws. You get in the seat and you reel it in. Now, when Ty caught the 1,200 pounder, it took him 45 minutes. As I mentioned, T just willed it into the boat. So I don't know how long it took. But when you catch this tuna back home in Pictou County, you come off, you get to the wharf right here. They're weighing it. And there's some dude who buys it right there. They chuck it on ice. They truck it to Halifax. From Halifax, it's flown usually to Tokyo. And it's sold within 24-hour at auction.
Yep.
Oh my
God.
God.
And it's cut up into sushi. I think I want to say, I don't know what you're getting a pound, but they got a thing. They spike it in it. They see how much is fat, how much is meat, and yeah.
So you catch that, and somebody within like 24 hours is eating it.
It's being chopped up and it's sold at auction. Yeah. They sell the whole thing, and then they start sushiing it.
I have a friend, my friend's dad. Before he passed, suddenly he was an executive at one of the big lobster fisheries in Gidney, and he brought home lobsters when we would go out there that had claws that were the size of your head. They were enormous, beastly lobsters, and he said, you can't buy this stuff. And we were like, why can't you buy this stuff? And he's like, because we catch it. All the A grade stuff goes to China. All the B grade stuff goes somewhere else, and Canada gets the C grade stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, so all the stuff that you see in the grocery store is considered C grade lobster.
See, that's why you got to know me, boys. When we go home, we just go right back down to the wharf. We'll buy it off my buddies off the boat.
There he is, exactly.
Yeah.
We got to do an East Coast trip with Ken Reid.
Oh,
the Steve Dangle Podcast.
Let's
plus
go.
Ken Reid
Oh my
takes on the East Coast.
Brought to you by Blood Alcohol.
Ken Reid, thanks so much
Thanks,
for joining
boys.
us.
Here we go. Pucks in deep. Quick start.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.